Okay, starting. Correct. I think we're, hold on. I think we are.
Yes, Prabhu, we are live.
Yeah, but I think we are. Okay, yes, I've muted the YouTube so it doesn't make an echo. Okay. Okay, let me do the prayers. Om Gyana Trimandasya Dhananjala Shalakaya Chakshumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine. Nityananda Kripa Patra Vindavana Dasa Chaitanya Lilaya Tanho Hanaye Adivyasa Panchatavamakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhaktakyam Namai Bhakta Shaktikam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Sigarada Shivati Gaur Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Today I am joining you back after almost 3 weeks, I think. I will just do a quick recap and maybe you have to do a recap for me. And unfortunately, like this, that chapter that you did, I did that with, with the previous, with Hari Prabhu. And as we know, we are talking about Chaitanya Bhagavat, and we from the Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Sampradaya, and knowing about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very important to us. And we know that there are, lots of things about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but there are a lot of things that we don't know as well. Because most of you, most probably before joining, ISKCON, we have maybe never heard of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, meaning that this is a very important topic that we should know him. And actually, without him, there would have been no Vrindavan today, because as we know, all the temple of Vrindavan was rediscovered and reestablished by the 6 Goswamis. And all the major, we know that like Radhakund, Shyamakund, and the main temple was established. Actually, Radhakund, Shyamakund was discovered and reestablished by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, and all the major temple by the 6 Goswamis under the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why I'm saying that is because it's so important for us that we know Krishna, but without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we would not know Krishna as we know Krishna. Because some know Krishna as, ultimate God, and some know Krishna just like a king, and some like a great personality. But for us, Krishna is not just a king or a great personality or God. He has a relationship with his devotees. And this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us. And we have seen right from the beginning how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and who came to visit him and when he appeared and what constellation and the importance and proof that he is none other than Krishna himself. And then we learn about Nityananda Prabhu and others who came before him to get, ready for his appearance. And lately, in this chapter, we are reading about Nityananda Prabhu, who appeared before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and up to the age of 12, how he was enacting different pastime, even from Krishna Lila, even from Ramayan, and they were all like very astonished with him, and thing detail that nobody knew, and he knew about that as a little boy, and they were very perplexed with this type of pastime. And then later he left and then went to visit many places like Holy Dham, as we know. And then from this Holy Dham, and if you have read yourself, and then he met Lakshmipati, who is the guru of Madhavendra Puri. And Madhavendra Puri, we know his disciple is Ishwara Puri, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a disciple of Ishwara Puri. And we know that Nityananda Prabhu was initiated by he's a god brother of Madhavendra Puri. That means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not like god brother with Nityananda Prabhu. Actually, he's guru, and guru is on the equal footing. But anyway, we're not talking about who is greater, who is lower, but I just want to establish this this hierarchy. And now from there on, we'll continue from text. Okay, maybe as we always do, text 201 and then moving forward. And if anybody want to add something on what where I was not here during the past few weeks, maybe you can just do a quick wrap up as well.
Basically, what we did, Prabhu, was we were reading, and most of them is dealing with the Lord's pastimes when he's traveling. So that's what we discussed. He went to all these different places, and he's waiting for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to manifest his Sankirtan movement before he would join him. So in the meantime, he's just traveling and going to different places.
Yes. Yeah, and this is a very important point as well, as we will later read. Nityananda Prabhu did not want to, let's say, start to preach the Sankirtan movement himself. He was waiting for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to do that, then he will do that. In the meantime, he has visited so many places, and then we'll see also he went to Mathura and stayed in Mathura, and he's waiting for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to start this Sankirtan movement before he started doing something. What I'm trying to say is, it's very important that that we also, like, when our guru is here, or whenever there's a senior devotee is here, this should be our attitude also. We should not try to show that we know better, or we know verses, we start to recite to show off that we know better. And this is a very important attitude, that we should respect our elders in terms of devotee I'm talking about. Anyway, let's start text 201 or then 202. And what?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I start?
Yes.
Prabhu, you want me to share? I can.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Okay, let me share.
Start from 202, right?
Yes.
Prabhu, can you, if you give me the rights, I'll share.
Yeah, you must have it right now.
Hare Krishna. এই মত নিত্যানন্দ থাকি নীলাচলে देखी Ganga Sagar Aila Kutuhale. After remaining in Nilachar for some time, Nityananda went in jubilation to Ganga Sagar. तांद्र तीर्थ यात्रा सब के पारे कही ते किचु लिखी लाना मात्र तांद्र कृपा है ते. Who can describe the Lord's pilgrimage? I have written in brief only by his mercy. Ei mat tirtha brahmi Nityananda Raya Punarabara Asiya Milila Mathuraya. After visiting various holy places in this way, Lord Nityananda returned again to Mathura. Niravadi Vrindavane Kare Navasati Krishnera Avasena Janina Divadrati. He continuously stayed in Vrindavan and became so absorbed in Krishna that he did not know whether it was day or night. He did not eat, but he occasionally drank some milk whenever someone offered it to him. Navadvipe Gaura Chandra Ache Gupta Bhave Iha Nityananda Swaru Piramane Jage. Lord Nityananda knew well that Lord Gaurachandra was living incognito in Navadvip. He thought, Apana Aishwarya Prabhu Prakasibe Yabe Amigiya Karimu Apan Seva Tabe. I will go serve Lord Gauranga when he manifests his opulences. Ei Manasika Kari Nityananda Raya Mathura Chadiya Nava Dvipanahiyaya. Thinking in this way, Lord Nityananda did not go to Navadvip but remained at Mathura. The word Mansik means arising from the mind, thinking, desiring, aspiring, and wishing. Niravadi Viharaye Kalindira Jhale Shishu Sange Vrindavane Dula Khela Khele. He regularly enjoyed sporting in the waters of the Yamuna and playing with the children in Vrindavan. Yadyapiha Nityananda Dhare Sarva Shakti Tathapiha Karehana Dilena Vishnu Bhakti. Yabe Gaura Chandra Prabhu Karibe Prakasha Tanase Agnyaya Bhakti Dhanira Vilasa. Keha Kichu na kare Chaitanya Agyavine Ihate Alpata Nahi Paya Prabhu Ghane. Although Lord Nityananda is omnipotent, he did not distribute devotional service to the Lord at that time. When Lord Gaurachandra manifests his opulence, then on his order he would begin to distribute devotional service. The servants and associates of Lord Chaitanya did not like to do anything without his instruction, but this does not diminish their glories in the least. Being a personal expansion of and non-different from Sri Gaura Krishna, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is Baldev, the personification of pure goodness, and who is the only bestower of love for Gaura Krishna, neither displayed mercy on anyone nor distributed or preached chanting the holy names in love of God while visiting the holy places, thereby surpassing his eternally worshipable Lord Sriman Mahaprabhu's desire, direct order, or time for the pastimes of preaching the chanting of the holy names in love of God. When the Supreme Independent Lord Mahaprabhu, out of his own free will and causeless mercy, would manifest his own glories to the fallen souls, at that time Sri Nityananda Prabhu would also manifest the pastime of door-to-door distribution of the holy names and love of God to the sinful living entities. Therefore, following in the footsteps of Sri Nityananda, anyone who desires his own welfare does not transgress etiquette and manifest elevated language and material ego on the pretext of preaching topics of Krishna while proudly masquerading as a guru in the presence of the Supreme Lord or his empowered representative, the Vaishnava Guru. That is why Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written in this pure devotional songbook Kalyan Kalpa Taru as follows. Amita Vaishnava Ab e buddhi haile amani na haiba ami. Oh, this is a different meter, I think. Amita Vaishnava e buddhi haile amani na haba ami. Pratistha sa asi hridaya dushibe haiba nirayagami. If I think I am a Vaishnava, I shall look forward to receiving respect from others. And if the desire for fame and reputation pollute my heart, I shall certainly go to hell. The eternally blissful form of knowledge, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, is the eternal worshipable Lord of the living entities. And to carry out his order with body, mind, and speech is real Vaishnava fame. This is pure transcendental spiritual identification. This position is most relishable and beyond the insignificant, partial, abominable nature of perishable matter. And becoming prominent on or dominant in the material sense is actually abominable, anxiety-filled service, and simply another way of describing one's significance. Haribo. Should I continue, Prabhu, or stop here?
No, you have to share your realization.
So Nityananda Prabhu, like as we all know, he's the personification of Baladev, which is like being a guru. He does not preach until Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself appears and starts the preaching process. I mean, yeah, Prabhu, that even though he can do preaching and door-to-door devotional service, he until Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears himself and starts that process. So that's like, shows humbleness and,
Yes, Prabhu. Actually, you will remember that every time when I start the prayers, I also do the prayers for Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because as you know that all these purport is his writing. and he's sometimes very heavy in the way he put things. And because he is very strict as well. And the strict does not mean that he does not like us or he is like hard with us. He is strict because he does not want us to commit offenses. Because committing offenses toward one, peers or even elders or even like when we say younger devotee or older devotee is an offense. It doesn't mean that if it's a young devotee, we can say whatever we want, we can do whatever we want. It's not like that. Actually, respecting is very, very important. As he said here, I shall look forward to receiving respect from others. That means sometimes when we think that we are a bit more senior than somebody else, and we can expect people to respect us. We can expect somebody to glorify us in a way, but this also is not good. Sometimes, as he's saying in the one of the prayer, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, sometimes you will see some devotee they don't say anything, or they until they are asked to say something, and they are very quiet. Like Rupa Goswami always demonstrate this quality. He will not say anything until somebody asks him to talk. And we have seen this in many pastime also. Even somebody came to try to defeat him. He let them say whatever they want to say, because some people, even though they are not coming in a mood to inquire, they mean in a mood to understand, to learn. If somebody is coming in a mood to defeat you or to show that he's superior to you, then there is no need for you to go and try to defeat him or to show him or to explain to him something about Krishna. Because what will happen actually, in his mind, he has already shut all his, like we say, the ears or the way to understand things. He wants to oppose and to defeat you. Then this type of people, we rather and be safer, let them say what they want to say. Of course, if they are committing, Vaishnava Parad, you can warn them, but don't try to defeat them. Sometimes just let them say whatever they want to say, or go away. It will be safer. And this is, what one of the points that Bhaktisiddhanta is saying here. And we should also be very careful about trying to get respect, because when we want to be respected, that means we are proud in a way, and we know that pride is very, very dangerous. And we can see that Nityananda Prabhu has demonstrated this by not doing anything. Even he's going to many holy places, he could have preached to many people, but he did not. He did not even give anybody his benediction. He did not talk to anybody about Krishna, but he went to visit these places to remember Krishna in separation, because he wanted to see Mahaprabhu. Okay, let's continue. Somebody else can continue.
I can do it, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Ki ananta ki bashiva ajadi devata chaitanya agnyaya arta karta palayita. Brahma, Ananta, Shiva, and the other demigods create, maintain, and destroy under the order of Lord Chaitanya. The word Ananta refers to Vishnu, the maintainer of the word, the maintainer. The word Aja refers to Brahma, the creator, and the word Shiva refers to Hara, the destroyer. Ihate ye papi gana mane dukha paya Vaishnareva adrasya se papi sarvathaya. Sinful persons who do not like to hear such things are not fit to be seen by Vaishnavas. Shak, shak, shaksate dekha sabe etribhuvane nityananda dware palena premadane. Just see for yourself how Nityananda Prabhu has blessed the people of this universe with the treasure of devotional service. Chaitanya Adibhakta Nityananda Raya Chaitanya Yasar Vase Yanhara Jivaya. Lord Nityananda is the foremost devotee of Sri Chaitanya, of Lord Chaitanya. For the glory of Lord Chaitanya always reside on his tongue. Aharnisa Chaitanya Ra Katha Prabhu Kaya Tandre Bijale Se Chaitanya Bhakti Haya. Day and night Lord Nityananda chants the glory of Lord Chaitanya. So when one worships Nityananda, he certainly attains devotion for Lord Chaitanya. If a living entity worships Sri Nityananda Prabhu and his Vaishnava followers who constantly chant the glories of Sri Gaura Krishna, then his propensity for pure devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya is enhanced. Adi Deva Jaya Jaya Nityananda Raya Chaitanya Mahatma Mahima Spure Yanhara Kripaya. All glories to Lord Nityananda, who is the first manifestation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The glories of Lord Chaitanya become manifest by his mercy. Chaitanya Kripaya Haya Nityananda Gati Nityananda Janile Apad Nahikati. One becomes attached to Nityananda by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and one who knows Nityananda never faces any adversaries. On the strength of the non-duplicitous surrender to the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Rai, a living entity achieves freedom from the conditional state and becomes qualified to assist Sri Nityananda in his 10 forms of service to Gaura Krishna. Srila Thakur Narottama has sung, He Nitai Vine Bai, Radha Krishna Paite Nai, Rida Kari Dara Nityara Paya. Without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, no one can achieve Radha Krishna. Therefore, tightly catch hold of Nitai's lotus feet. Liberated souls are eligible to drown in the ocean of Sri Gaura's service under the guidance of Sri Nityananda. Samsarera Parahana Bhakti Rag Sagane Ye Dubiye Ye Boyjuka Nitai Chandare. Those who wish to cross the ocean of material nescience and drown in the ocean of devotional service must worship Lord Nityananda. Keha bole Nityananda yena albala Rama. Keha bole Chaitanya Banda Priya Dama. Someone said Lord Nityananda is just like the Balram. Another said he is most dear to Lord Chaitanya.
Okay, Prabhu. Maybe let somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah, say what something.
Okay. Yeah. So again, it's emphasized here that one who worships Lord Nityananda faithfully will get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, and without worshipping Lord Nityananda, one cannot get the mercy or devotional service of Radha Krishna. It's very important that we worship Lord Nityananda.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. A very important point. That means, getting the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu is very, very important. Because actually, in Kali Yuga, he is the most merciful personality, Nityananda Prabhu. Okay, somebody else want to read?
I can read, Prabhu.
Okay.
Kiba yati nityananda, kiba bhakta gyani, yara yena mata icha, na bolaya keni. Yese kena chaitanya ra, nityananda na he, tabu se pada padma, rahu kahridaye. Someone may consider Nityananda a sannyasi, someone may consider him a devotee, and someone may consider him a jnani. They may say whatever they like, even if Nityananda was the most insignificant servant of Lord Chaitanya, still I would keep his lotus feet in my heart. Some people consider Sri Nityananda Prabhu as the sannyasi disciple of Sri Lakshmipati Tirtha. Some people, on seeing his love for Krishna, consider him a devotee, and other people consider him a great renunciate and learned scholar of Vedanta. They may consider my Lord in whichever way they want, or my worshipable Lord Sri Nityananda Prabhu may be related to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply as a menial servant, but I will not enter into this unnecessary subject. I will place the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda within my heart while considering him my eternal worshipable Lord. इत परिहारे ओ ये पापी निंदा करे तबे लाथी मारो तारा सिरेरा upare. Therefore, I kick the head of any sinful person who disregards the glories of Lord Nityananda and dares to criticize him. The word parihara means to rectify the faults, to drop the charges, to pray, to offer, to abandon, and to neglect. In order to permanently stop the continual irreverence towards the Supreme Lord by those hellish people who enviously criticize Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and to render them eternal benefit and good sense, the author is ready to kick them in the head. By this statement of the most merciful Sri Thakur Mahashaya to the staunch atheist, the transcendental goddess of learning, Shuddha Saraswati displays the firm attachment of a servant towards his master, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, thus teaching everyone through illuminating words that although Thakur Mahashaya and other pure devotees who act and preach in his footsteps are detached from those who are extremely uninterested in their own welfare, who are determined to run towards hell, and who are ignorant of the truth regarding Sri Nityananda, they are nevertheless selflessly and causelessly merciful towards the fallen souls. While Srila Thakur Vrindavan, who is the Vaishnava Acharya, the direct incarnation of Vyasa and the servant of Sri Nityananda, enacts his pastime of transcendentally kicking, even if one particle of dust falls on the heads of some fortunate persons, they will certainly achieve auspiciousness. In other words, their anartha nivriti, or freedom from unwanted things, is guaranteed. The exhibition of such great compassion by Sri Vishnu or the Vaishnavas is beyond the imagination or intelligence of the foolish non-devotees who cannot discriminate between what is favorable and what is unfavorable for their own welfare. The all auspicious endeavors and behavior of the preachers and the practitioners of pure devotional service to Gaura Krishna, who follow in the footsteps of Thakur Sri Vrindavan, who is the direct incarnation of Sri Vyas, display on one hand gross punishment on the fallen averse living entities, and on the other hand subtle unlimited compassion on them. Kona Chaitanya ra loka Nityananda prati manda bole hai na dekha se kevala stuti. If you find any follower of Lord Chaitanya appear to say something bad about Nityananda, should know for certain that what they said was actually glorification. No pure devotee of Gaura can criticize or tolerate criticism against Sri Nityananda Prabhu. If anyone thinks that the statements of Sri Advaita Prabhu towards Sri Nityananda Prabhu were criticism, that is simply his misunderstanding and offense. One should not lose faith in the lotus feet of Nityananda, who is the only shelter and goal of all living entities, by considering the so-called criticism of Nityananda to be criticism when it's actually glorification of Nityananda. Nitya Shuddha Jnanavanta Vaishnava Sakala Tabe ye kalaha dekha sabha kutuhala. Vaishnavas are always pure and full of knowledge. So if there is ever any quarrel between them, you should know it is simply part of their pastimes. It should be understood that the apparent act of quarreling on the pretext of criticizing Nityananda by the pure devotees of Gaura, headed by Advaita, is meant to awaken the living entity's interest and increase their service attitude towards Nityananda, because all of Sri Gaura's devotees are eternally pure and endowed with pure transcendental knowledge. Ignorance, such as dualities, aversion, or opposition to Vishnu and the Vaishnavas, cannot remain in them. Ithe eka jane rahaya paksha ye anya jane ninda kare shayaya say. If a person takes the side of one Vaishnava and criticizes another, he is certainly vanquished. If someone, due to misfortune and material conceptions, considers the living quarrels of the eternally liberated devotees who are always eager to please Krishna to be like the dualities enjoyed by the conditioned souls who are agitated by disturbances to their sense gratification, and thus take the side of one and criticizes the other, then as a result of his imprudence, his ruination is guaranteed. Without understanding how the most pleasing transcendental opposing parties who nourish the pastimes of the absolute Lord Sri Gaura Krishna are wonderfully increasing their respective attachment for the Lord, if someone praises one and condemns another due to his enjoying spirit and fruitive mentality, he is certainly inviting his own downfall, or in other words, he is ruining himself. Nityananda Swarupe se ninda na layo ya tana pathe thakile se Gaura Chandra paya. Anyone who follows Nityananda without finding fault in him will surely attain the shelter of Sri Gaura Chandra. If a living entity desiring his own welfare personally engages in the service of Sri Nityananda Prabhu without taking any part whatsoever in criticizing Sri Nityananda Prabhu personally or through others, he can be qualified to receive the mercy of Sriman Mahaprabhu. Simply by following in the footsteps of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the merciful glance of Sri Gaura is guaranteed. But endeavors to directly or indirectly criticize or diminish Sri Nityananda Prabhu's glories on the pretext of serving him certainly leads one to hell. Hena dina haiba ki Chaitanya Nityananda dekhi ba vestita chatur dike bhakta vrenda. When will that day come? When will I see Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda surrounded by their devotees? Hari Bol Prabhu, should I stop here 2:30, right? So we can then go in the sequence of 10s.
Yes, yes. We stop here and give you realization.
Yeah, so Prabhu, so here again have glorification of Nityananda Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu is given, saying even if he is if people think him of as a mendicant or a sannyasi or a great devotee, for Vrindavan Das Thakur, he is like eternally worshipable Lord. And then we cannot reach Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, without the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. And then it's also talked about saying we should never take sides with Vaishnavas. If we criticize one and then praise others, then we are going to go to hell. We should never criticize the devotees. And never, again, the emphasis is saying, if people think that Lord Chaitanya, like Lord Advaita Acharya was talking bad about Nityananda Prabhu, then they are foolish. It's basically the conversation about devotees to arouse interest in the devotees to the pastimes of Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That was all glorifications of Nityananda Prabhu. And we should not talk bad about Nityananda Prabhu, because if if we talk bad, surely we will not get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. We always have to go through Nityananda Prabhu to get Mahaprabhu's mercy. And even Vrindavan Thakur is saying that that if somebody is criticizing, then he will kick that head of that sinful person, and that is it's two ways, right? It's a benediction, saying if Vaishnavas, a pure devotee, kicks you with his lotus feet, the person who is being kicked will be purified. The other thing is also making sure that they are getting the punishment that you should not criticize a big personality, their lordship, Nityananda Prabhu. That's all, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you so much. We will read later, much later, that how Nityananda Prabhu, the way he acts sometimes is a bit weird. Sometimes he forget that who he is. He will walk naked, and then even in front of Vishnu Priya and all that, he will come like that. But he get lost in a way. And then in other pastime, as we know, even Lord Balaram, he get drunk by drinking Varuni and all that. And Nityananda Prabhu too. Then what happened is Advaita Acharya, when sometime they discuss between each other, he will bring those points up, and he will criticize Lord Nityananda. This is what we are saying. He's saying here that even Advaita Acharya, if we are reading, if somebody who is a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and when he criticizes another devotee, actually he's not criticizing, he's glorifying. And as I was saying, since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they did like some pastime that is a bit weird. And when Advaita Acharya will talk about that and will criticize him, and they will fight between each other. Even Advaita Acharya also sometimes do things like that. He will criticize and he will act as a Mayavadi. And then when he acts like a Mayavadi, he did that on purpose actually, so that he get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because let's say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was somewhere else, and he heard that Advaita Acharya is talking about impersonalist philosophy. What will happen? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be very, very mad about him and will immediately come to chastise him, when will even beat him actually. And then, this type of pastime, then Nityananda Prabhu will talk about that, and Advaita Prabhu will talk about what Nityananda Prabhu said. When they talk like that, it's back and forth. It's like looking that they are fighting. Actually, it's a lila between devotees. Now, if we as a devotee, we take side, we say, oh, Nityananda Prabhu has done that, or Advaita Acharya is doing this, and then we try to be on this side or on the other side, then this is our downfall. We should be very careful. Okay, this is the great personalities. Now, even in this world, there might be devotees who is doing something, and we try to criticize them. This also we should be careful. Not only when we talk about great personalities like Nityananda Prabhu or Advaita Acharya or Srinivas and all that, but even in this context where we are living, we will see sometimes things. And if we don't understand those things, it's better we keep a neutral position. Don't try to take side, and don't try to criticize, especially criticize, talking at the back of somebody else. You can say something but don't criticize, don't take side. And, this is what we are learning from this chapter. It's not only about them, and we should live in our context too. Sometimes we don't understand something, but better don't judge, better don't take side. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Okay, it's already 48. I think we are almost done with the chapter. Let's finish with this. Okay, let's continue quickly.
I can read, Prabhu.
Okay.
Okay. Sarvabhava Swamiyena Haya Nityananda Tana Rehiya Bhaji Yena Prabhu Gorachandra. Let me serve God, Lord Gorachandra, under the instructions of Lord Nityananda, who is my worshipable Lord in all respects. Just by seeing the word Swami, which also means husband, in this verse, no one should try like the Gaura Nagaris, to become the consort of Nityananda. The eternal desire of the author, who is a devotee of Gaura, is to engage with firm determination in the service of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu under the guidance of his spiritual master, Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Under the guidance of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and accepting him as his Lord, author endeavors to favorably assist in Sri Gaura's service, of which Nityananda Prabhu is the proprietor and sole authority, proves the author's strong attachment for worshipping Gaura. Nityananda Sarva Swarupare Sthane Bhagavata Janme Janme Padhibana E Abhimata. I desire to study Sri Bhagavatam under Sri Nityananda Swarupa's birth after birth. Jaya Jaya Mahaprabhu Sri Gauranga Chandra Dila O Nila O Tumi Prabhu Nityananda. All glories to the Supreme Lord Sri Gauranga. You have given me and then taken from me the association of Lord Nityananda. If Sri Nityananda Prabhu empowers me to understand the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam, as his servant, I will constantly keep the conclusions of Sri Bhagavatam and the process of service approved by Sri Bhagavatam and learn from him within my heart. May I never become controlled by self-interest and transgress the lotus feet of my spiritual master, Sri Nityananda, or consider Sri Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is none different from Sri Nityananda, as a commodity of sense gratification. Tathapitha ekripa kara mahasaya tomate tam hateyena chitavrati raya. Still I beg for your mercy so that my mind may remain absorbed in his and your lotus feet. By sending Sri Nityananda Prabhu as my spiritual master, Sriman Mahaprabhu has bestowed causeless mercy on such a fallen soul as me. And when the pastimes of Sri Nityananda Prabhu were completed, he has taken him away from me. O Lord, bless me so that my mind may not deviate in your absence after you have both enacted your disappearance pastimes. May I ever fix my restless, uncontrolled mind on the lotus feet of you both. By this statement, the author has taught the constitutional duty and principle of humility to every servant of the spiritual master. Tomara Parama Bhakta Nityananda Raya Vina Tumi Dila Tanare Keha Niha Paya. Lord Nityananda is your greatest devotee. No one can attain him without your sanction. Unless Sriman Mahaprabhu reveals Sri Nityananda Prabhu to a living entity, no one is able to attain his lotus feet. Sri Nityananda Prabhu alone is the highest respected servant and none different from Sriman Mahaprabhu. Vrindavana Adhikari Brahme Nityananda Yavatna Apana Prakashe Gaurachandra. Lord Nityananda traveled throughout the forest of Vrindavan until Lord Gaurachandra displayed his opulence. Until Sri Gaurasundara displayed his pastimes of distributing his holy names and love of God, Sri Nityananda Prabhu was traveling to various holy places like Sri Dham, Vrindavan. Until Sri Gaurasundara completed his covered scholastic pastimes and began manifesting his most magnanimous pastimes to his intimate devotees, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, being afflicted by separation from his Lord, visited holy places throughout India and thus exhibited the pastime of searching for Krishna. Nityananda Swarupa Re Tritha Prayatana Ehi Sune Tare Mile Premadhana. Whoever hears these descriptions of Nityananda Swarupa's visit to the holy place will attain the treasure of divine love. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Chanda Jana Vrindavanda Satachu Pada Yuga Gana accepting Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of his lotus feet. This ends this English translation of Gaudiya Bhasya commentary on Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Adi Khanda, chapter 9, entitled Nityananda's Childhood Pastimes and Travels to Holy Places. Hare Krishna.
Would you like to say something, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's again pretty much emphasizing on the same thing that there was a reason why he was traveling, waiting for Gaurasundara to do the pastimes, start the, his magnanimous pastimes to his devotees and exhibit Srimad Bhagavatam as well as do the satsanga before he can join him. So he was again bestowing his respect towards Gaurasundara. Nityananda Prabhu was. And that's pretty much what I got. And of course, how Nityananda is the greatest devotee of Mahaprabhu in his service. And that should be our way of looking towards our Prabhupada. That's how we should look at, and as well as our senior devotees and gurus, we should obey the same respect, just like he did. Also, the way our devotion, our prayer towards Sri Nityananda and Sri Chaitanya Prabhu, the way we should express our devotion is that we should fix my restless mind to your lotus feet and may not deviate in your absence, or help us to control our senses and be intact with our bhakti. So that should be our prayer towards him in his lotus feet, which is what we actually do when we do the morning prayers. Is what it exactly says. So that's it, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you so much, Mataji, for bringing this up. Like we start our day with this Guru Vandana, as we say, the Guru prayers, and how it's important that if you read all this, and because Vrindavan Das Thakur, Guru is Nityananda Prabhu, don't forget that. That means it's by the mercy of Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is none other than Vyasadev in the Chaitanya Lila has written this, and his Guru is Nityananda Prabhu. And then, if we replace, his Guru with our Guru, or with the senior devotees that we know, that means we should, we should respect and be very careful what we say against others and all that. Because, the only way that Jagai Magai had the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, first one is because they did not committed Vaishnava Aparad. Then secondly, the Vaishnava Aparad that they committed one time when they broke the head of Nityananda Prabhu, because Nityananda Prabhu is begged for forgiveness to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that means he has excused them, then only then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given his mercy to them. And as you know, they become great devotee. Even though they were the worst person at that time, in a way, they became great devotees. Which means that we are little, or maybe, I won't say bigger, because they were claimed to be the biggest Jagai Magai, very, very bad people. And, maybe we are small or minute Jagai Magai, but then we have a hope. We have hope that one day, if we follow this practice and follow this teaching, we will have the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because only by reading this book together, Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is a disciple of Nityananda Prabhu, that means we are already getting the blessing of Nityananda Prabhu. And of course, the blessing of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada and our Guru. That means the chance that we have to get the blessing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is likely to be high. That means we should hold on to this and beg for the mercy via Nityananda Prabhu. And as we knew, and we have read in the beginning, that Nityananda Prabhu is none other than Balaram, who is the first expansion of Krishna. And there are non-difference. That means the only difference that there is, one is white, one is black or dark blue. That's the difference. But both of them has the same potency. This is important to know, so that we understand the position of Nityananda Prabhu. Okay, we'll stop here. It's already 9:01. And if anybody want to add anything or say anything, then please go ahead.
Just one quick question, Prabhuji. I was just thinking, when we talk about Radha and Krishna, we always say as devotees we should approach Radharani because he's more merciful, and she'll pave the way for us towards Krishna. Is it the same thing with Chaitanya Prabhu and Nityananda Prabhu? Is the same thing, right? We should approach Nityananda Prabhu first. It's more merciful.
Yes. Yeah, as we know, like if we see Krishna standing, and one side is Balaram, that means the Shakti, the Agni Shakti and eternal potency. One side is Radha and one side is Nityananda Prabhu, is Balaram. I mean, if you approach Krishna via Radharani or Nityananda Prabhu, is the same. But in Kali Yuga, the best way to get Radha and Krishna, as it said there, is via Nityananda Prabhu. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is already Radha and Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha and Krishna combined. That means to get Radha and Krishna, we go via Nityananda Prabhu. And nowadays, we don't have access to Nityananda Prabhu because he's Adi Guru. That means from the disciplic succession that is coming, that means the Guru that we have, or our Guru that we have, they are representative of Nityananda Prabhu. That means if you follow the teaching of Srila Prabhupada, those who are not initiated, like Prabhupada is Guru for everybody, and those who are initiated, they have a Guru that is connected to the Prabhupada. But this is, as you said, rightly said, we sing in the morning Samsara Dhavana, and this is why it's important. Some people can say, oh, why don't we sing about Radha and Krishna in the morning, our first prayer? That means our first prayer actually is go to Guru, because it's only through the Guru that we'll get Radha and Krishna. Through Guru, Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we get Radha and Krishna. But don't forget, always I try to emphasize this. That means the ultimate goal is Radha and Krishna. Because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he always, get lost into the bhav of love of Radha and Krishna, in the pastime of Radha and Krishna. I mean, this is what he's teaching us. The goal is via Guru, Parampara, Nityananda Prabhu, Gora, Sundara, then we get Radha and Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I want
Hare
to know
Krishna.
one thing. Is there like a layout or a graph where like whatever the whoever was in Krishna Leela, what they are, like their character, the name in the Chaitanya Leela?
Yes, yes. There is something. It's called. There's a book.
Ganadesh.
Gopika. Yeah.
Yeah.
It gave. I have also something. Maybe I can share it with you. I don't have the book, but I can share with you and everybody that is in Chaitanya Leela, who they are in Krishna Leela. Actually, as we read in the beginning, that when Krishna come, he never come alone. That's why we say we never worship Krishna on his own. We worship Krishna with Radha and the devotees. And even if there is no Radha, there is no devotee, there's always a peacock, there is always a cow, there's always a tree, there's a river, Yamuna. I mean, all these, they are, as we say in the spiritual world, they are, they all have a consciousness, they are living. And that's why when Krishna came from Goloka Vrindavan to here in this realm, he come with all his associates. And then we knew that when he came in, that means Radha Krishna came in Chaitanya Leela as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as well. All the associates came. Even some demigod came. Even when we know in Krishna Leela also many demigod came. And we know, for example, Advaita Acharya is Sadashiv and Mahavishnu together. We know Srivas is Narad Muni. We know Gadadhar Pandit is Radha in a way, because we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is combined Radha and Krishna, but how come Gadadhar is Radha? And then we know Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram, and we know, for example, Sarup Damodar, and then Ramananda Rai. They all like, one is Arjun and one is Vishaka in the same body. It's a bit complex, difficult to understand how come two personalities come in one personality in Chaitanya Leela. In Chaitanya Leela, this is the thing. Some personalities, like three personalities, come in one body in Chaitanya Leela. This is a difference. In Krishna Leela, they were separate personalities, but in Chaitanya Leela, they came together in one body, two different moods or two different personalities. That's the complexities that we will see. And when you read that book, that actually it's not a book that you read, it's just give the name and who they are. And you will see that, for example, Vishaka is Arjuna. That means Arjuna and Vishaka came in the body of Sarup Damodar, for example. And then, it's sometimes difficult to understand, but this is the way it is. I will send you, I have a PDF copy, not of the book, but of maybe I will post it in the co-devotee group. Of these, it's not the book itself, but there's somebody has done a summary of the book.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Any other thing?
Well, I just wanted to say Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, to everyone.
Oh, Hari
Krishna,
Bol.
Ba.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Ba.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol.
She listens to this every day, even though she doesn't understand.
Good to see her. It is said that just like when you listen to any Krishna Katha or Nityananda Prabhu's Katha and all that, even we don't understand the language, just by hearing the sound, like we are reading the text by Vrindavan Das Thakur, which is very melodious. It's like it's singing, Nityananda Swarupe Tirtha Parithana. You see, it's like very melodious, the way it's written. Just by listening to that, there is a lot of purification, even though we don't understand a single word what it is saying.
That's right, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Ba.
Saranga Prabhu.
Yeah, I hope. Can Ba come to the program now or not yet?
Not anytime soon.
Okay.
Yeah, she's so weak to go anywhere. She said, everybody come to our house.
Yes.
Yes, we'll come to Shiva.
Yeah, if she
We
does
can
not come, we
do
will
a
have
small
to.
kirtan, right? Like not big, like you can come there and do.
Prabhu, can you speak a bit louder? Shakti Prabhu, we can't hear you.
Oh, I'm saying like, can we go and do like little kirtan, like not big, small kirtan we can do, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
We did it a few times with 3-4 devotees.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll come and sing to. Ba cannot come, we'll come ourselves.
That would be great. That would be great. આપણા ઘરે આવવાના ભજન કરવા બધા 2-4 જણા આવશે.
Very well. Okay. Any other thing?
We'll see everyone on Saturday. Otherwise, we're looking
Yes,
forward.
we'll see. Yes, on Saturday.
Glad to see you back, Prabhuji. Love you.
Thank you. We'll see you on Saturday. Hello, everybody.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, welcome back.
Okay.
Krishna.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyacha patnam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai.
Hari
Jai
Bol.
Jai Shri Radhe. Shyam. Hari Bol.
Hari
Haribo, Prabhuji. Haribo.
Hari Bol.